Welcome to the Habits and Hustle podcast, a podcast that uncovers the rituals, unspoken habits, and mindsets of extraordinary people. A podcast powered by Habit Nest. Now here's your host, Jennifer Cohen.
Okay, so I have Wallo267 on the podcast today, but what is your title? What are you known as?
I'm a connector. I connect people with ideas, things, and people.
And I was saying that everyone seems to be very fascinated by you. You were in jail for, how long were you in jail for?
I was in jail for 20 years. I got sentenced to 19 and a half to 55 years when I was 52 years when I was 17. Before then, I spent 5 years in and out of institutions as a juvenile. I did 20 years, went in 17, came out 37.
How old are you now?
I'm 40 now. I've been out here 3 years.
By the way, prison's been good to you because you look like you're 21.
Thank you.
You were in jail for 20 years.
20 years for armed robbery and 2 firearm violations.
What did you do?
Armed robbery.
Okay, but exactly what did happen?
I used to rob establishments and stuff. Like I go in there, rob, see the manager, tell him this money insured, pass it over. I didn't ever. Well, you hurt people when you flash a gun, but I didn't physically hurt them, as they would say. But I would just, that was my thing. I got locked up for 2 armed robberies.
And you get 20 years for that?
Well, and it's like this. When you can't get proper representation, you're doing things, you're messing up the property value because in certain areas, the crime go up to bring the value down. Life is not always fair. Sometimes it could go many different ways. But it was a blessing for me. Probably saved my life, more than likely. A lot of people that I know, they got killed. Some are still doing life in jail. I was the type of person that, growing up in inner cities of America, I was impressionable. So in the ghetto.
Where did you grow up exactly?
Philadelphia, North Philadelphia. In the ghetto is like, everybody is chasing attention. Attention is God in the ghetto. As you see, attention is everybody now. Everybody is craving attention, but in the ghettos, attention is God and the way to get attention through things. So I was trying to get things. That's why I was doing what I was doing. I was trying to get them things, jewelry, car, all the stuff to make the women want me, to get attention. Like, look at me. It's this look at me thing. So in order to do that, I had to be down with the street culture. But I think really before that, what really made me get into the streets was, I had family members in the street game, but I remember one time I got bullied when I was young. I was in school, right? And it was this one guy I used to see, and I used to be scared. Little kid, I was scared. I was scared all the time when I seen him, and it was like, okay, how can I stop this from happening? He don't mess with them guys over there. They're doing things is wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I said the only way for me to put some protection on myself coming up was that. I had brothers, family, but it still was like, you in school, you trying to figure things out, you young. And that happened to a lot of kids even to the day. Everybody want to fortify themselves. And a lot of times people lash out, people do things because, hurt people. And they might have been hurt before and they don't want nobody to see that they hurt. And sometimes they think that people can see that, what they've been through. And that ain't the case. So that's why people put this wall around themselves, rather relationships, rather family issues, rather molestation, all type of things, So once I became married to the streets of Philadelphia.
And you were a kid. You said you were in jail by 17?
Yeah. No, but the first time I got arrested was June 30th, 1990. I was 11 years old for robbery in Philadelphia County. And then I got arrested a week after that, the beginning of July. And then September 19th, 1990, they sent me away for a year. So I've been in the system my whole life. I spent more time on this planet incarcerated than I did free. I spent 5 years in the juvenile system and 20 years in prison, and I'm 40.
Did they put you in at 17, I would imagine you go back to juvenile.
No, they certified me as adult because they said I did too many juvenile crimes.
Oh my gosh. So what kind of jail was it? Was it maximum security?
Oh,
minimum?
Penitentiary. It was, when I was 17, you go and you wait until by the time you turn 18, they had you on certain blocks, but when I turned 18, you on general population. And it's real. People get stabbed, people get raped. It's real. Luckily for me, I had people that was in position. Family members knew, older cats, older real life convicts doing all. So I was cool. And then I had homies. So it was cool for me. You know what I mean? And by that time, I hit to the penitentiary. I was already a real live street person. So it was like, you know the game. You go to jail, get you a whack. You live your life.
What did you do for 20 years there?
Oh, I did a lot of stuff. But first I had to, before I started really tapping in, before I even got to the place to changing my mindset, I had to understand where I was at. And I remember one time I was talking to an older prisoner, and he told me, because I seen something that affected me. So I go to him, I'm like, yo, man, the dude was stabbing the dude in the yard, and he was like, yeah, man, that's, regular life. He said, you got to go insane in order to stay sane. So at that moment, he had a real conversation with me. So I said, okay, I had to go insane in order to stay sane during my journey through prison, because a sane mind can't see somebody stabbed or can't hear about somebody getting raped and take it like ain't nothing. Now, when I went insane, I was able to be in the yard and see somebody get stabbed and brush it off like, yeah, he must have did some dumb shit to somebody, and keep walking like it and don't think about it once I walk past him. So, it was a lot of things I learned. And then I learned that you could be in jail and still be in the streets, or still be having your criminal mindset, because, crime goes on in jail.
Right.
Drugs is in jail. Things is in jail. So it was
Isn't
like
everything basically in jail? It's like a microcosm of life.
everything is in jail. The thing about jail, though, the one thing that I enjoyed the most about jail, I know that sounds real crazy, was that people in prison are the only people on the planet Earth that have unbelievably amount of time to rest their body, their mind, and their soul. Even though you might be in prison, might be a dark place. When you're out here in the free world, you get tired. You can't just go in your house and rest. You got to work. You're in prison, you go lay down, rest, work out, chill.
You could?
Yeah,
Isn't there a regimen? Like, what's the day in the life in prison?
No. Like, if you got a job, cool. If you don't, you get up, you stand for count early in the morning.
What time do you wake up?
You know what I mean? Me, I used to wake up like 4:30. And sometimes, I work in the kitchen and all that, but you get up, stand for count around 5 something, 6 something. Depends on what prison you in. You do count. You go to chow. You can do whatever you want to do from there. If you got to, at the chow, they wait you to call school line, or you might go to work if you got one. If you ain't got a job, you can just lay down all day.
So how does it that some people have a job and some don't? Isn't it mandatory to everyone have a job?
No, it's not enough jobs, though.
Okay, so then
it's not enough jobs, and you got some people like, a lot of us in prison, we want to work because you need money to buy commissary, get things.
Right, but how much they pay you? They don't pay you much.
No, 19 cents an hour to 42 cents in Pennsylvania.
Wow.
Yeah, hour. Like and it's like you might work in the kitchen. You might, kitchen is always the best place for me because you get to eat.
Yeah.
You get to eat as much as you want.
Wouldn't everybody want to work in the kitchen? Isn't that
a lot of people don't. Because the kitchen is one of them places where they know a lot of people want to work there, so they give you a lot of attitude. Sometimes the correctional officers give you a real live attitude, which, and it just be like, oh no, so, they and people get fired a lot. So like some people I ain't going down there.
So how did you get the job in the kitchen?
You write inmate employment. You got an inmate employment office where you'll write them and they send you a list of jobs, whether it's a plumber, janitor, kitchen, hospital, yard.
But what did you do to get the job beforehand?
No, I just wrote a request slip. You write a request the staff.
But why did they give it to you?
Because you asked for it.
Okay, but why didn't they give it to somebody else instead?
No, it ain't that. Say if I go ask for a job, it might be 70 people on the list before me. And when I come up, I just ask for it.
So you didn't get it right away.
No, I don't get it right away.
Right.
They and they might call you like, listen, your name is up on the list. Do you want this? We got this open, and that open.
Oh, got you. Okay. So what other? Okay, so I got so many questions for you. Okay, so basically they call you at 5 o'clock, 4:30 in the morning. Mm-hmm. You start. Okay, then what happens?
You could go to the yard and work out, or you could just chill in your cell all day. What
do they have in the yard to work out? Is it it's all prisoner stuff? So it's like
it's weights, basketball.
They give you, there's some weights.
Yeah, it's weights, basketball, volleyball, baseball, football.
Is there a treadmill?
No, they got them like in the gym, but they got like the racetrack, running track in the yard. And you could just go out there and some people go out there play chess. Some people do all types of stuff.
Until what time? And then what's the next thing? Like you can work out. Isn't there a schedule?
Yeah, after your, it's real simple. It's like breakfast, lunch, dinner.
What time is breakfast?
Breakfast could be anywhere from 7 something. Like 7 something. You got breakfast, you got lunch, you got dinner. But in between that, you got 3 yards. If it's summertime, you got 3 yards because the sun stay out longer. Night yard, you know what I'm saying? That'd be like at 6 o'clock. 6 to 8.
Oh, okay.
But if you don't, in the wintertime, you'll go to the night gym because you can't go out because it's dark.
Right. There's a night gym. There's a day gym, like an outside gym, and
no. They got a gym, just one gym on the penitentiary. And
is there an elliptical even or no?
I don't know what that is.
Oh, okay. Is there like a stationary bike, like an elliptical?
Oh yeah, they got them. They got them in the gym.
So they have cardio equipment. And
they got all that. They got circuit training and all that stuff in gym.
It's like an Equinox in there.
Yeah.
Do they have do people teach like boot camp classes or what?
No, they don't teach that, but you got a lot of working out. Though.
Okay, so then what do you have? Okay, so you have breakfast between 7 and 8 or whatever. What do they serve for breakfast? Like
the trays be like, they might give you some oatmeal, 2 pieces of toast, and a piece of fruit.
Okay.
You know, had a thing where you get some coffee or something or milk. That's it.
And then what time is lunch?
Lunch could be anywhere from like 11 o'clock. You know, and when you get lunch, it could be, depends. Like a good day is, they give you a slice of piece of some coleslaw. You might get a slice of piece of coleslaw. Give you a piece of fruit or a piece of cake. It ain't a lot. It's something simple.
It doesn't sound like it's that bad though. Like when you see in the movies, you get like a piece of bread and water. You know what I mean?
No, in America, prison in the media is sensationalized. It's so fake.
Yeah, it sounds.
It's like most of these people in Hollywood, these screenwriters, they didn't consult with somebody when they really was in prison when they was writing these movies.
Right.
It's just so it's so fake,
So it sounds to me that you're eating properly. Like you're eating like not bad food. Maybe it's not the most delicious. Is it tasty? Do you like the food?
It depends. Some meals, it depends what meals you like. Like my mom do. And they also have like an alternative, like they got like always had like an alternative, like for people that don't eat meat, like garden burgers or whatever, They
have like a vegetarian option?
Yeah, they got a vegetarian option, they got the Jewish option, they got a lot of stuff.
Kosher?
Kosher, yeah, they got kosher. If you're Jewish, gotta give it to you by law.
Okay, this is unbelievable. Okay, so between breakfast and lunch, you guys can work out. Okay, what else can you guys do if you don't want to work out? You can just read a book?
Yeah, you could do anything. You can read a book, you got TVs. They sell TVs on commissary. You got TV, so me and my cellmate, we both got TVs in the cell and they got cable.
This sounds like a resort. It doesn't sound like jail.
No, it's not like a resort. I know how people
like if you're a homeless person, right?
Huh?
I mean, I can see now why a homeless person would like to go to jail because it's being in jail and being a criminal sometimes is better than being a homeless person. Living on the street.
No, homeless person, you got a chance to get up tomorrow and change your life and do things. If you in jail, you might can't have that chance for 15, 20 years.
Right. That's true. But I'm saying like the lifestyle is like you're taken care of, so to speak.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but see, you might be taken care of, but you penalized for the rest of your life. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, of course.
Like in America, you don't just you know how they say you do the crime, you do the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it go. You do the crime, you do the time for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because you got a target on your back, and no matter what people say, oh, we believe in second chances. Rehabilitation ain't real, and people don't believe in that. Right. You know what I'm saying? What I'm out here doing is like unheard of.
I know we're going to get to all of that.
I mean, so
Hold on. So then from there, you go to dinner. What do you guys have for dinner?
You might have. It depends. Like it might have some. Like a Salisbury steak, like that,
like a minute steak.
Yeah, like microwave, like microwave Salisbury steak. It might be like a piece of Salisbury steak, some rice, some gravy, some bread, some string beans, and a piece of fruit or a piece of cake or something like that. You see what I'm saying?
Right. So then, what do you do between lunch and dinner? So if you're working out in the morning, or what else are the options? You can work out.
You got people that work out all day. You could be on the block playing chess. You could sit in the cell, watch your TV shows.
Anything.
There's
no other man, like no one. So in the movies, like you said, you see these parole officers who are like standing over you and they're like super.
You talking about correctional officers?
Yeah, correctional officers. Sorry, correctional officers. I apologize. And like you would think there's like a structure, like, and people are super scared. Like you can get beaten up, you can get killed. How does that happen if it doesn't?
It happens. It happened. People, but like I said, that movie shit is so fake.
Like what time is bedtime?
It depends on what jail you in. Like, but the jail I was in, you lock up 8:45. It's over. That's when you lock up in your cell.
So then how do you, what I still can't believe is...
And I'm just speaking for Pennsylvania. I can't speak for the whole...
No, I know. What I can't believe is that you were in jail for 20 years for a robbery. And there are other people who get off on murder. That's a very long...
What you got to understand is this. It's a little hard to understand. If I did a crime...
Did you get off on good behavior, by the way? Or
No, not really. You get parole, but that's another story. But like, if I do a crime, and the judge that's sentencing me or looking over or whatever the case might be, majority of the time, if you black in America, that judge don't even understand your experience. He don't understand what you were exposed to as a child. There's a lot of shit he just don't understand. So he's looking at you like, oh, you done this, that. He's not saying, hold up. How did this become? How did this happen? What happened in his life to make him think that this was all right? What? They're not thinking about it. They're just like, yeah, get him out of here. Throw the book at it. Go. You know what I mean? So you got to understand that. You know what I mean? And then when you're in a position, you're in a courtroom where you don't know what's going on. You ain't got no money to pay for the top representation. You know what I'm saying? If you had money to pay for it, you probably wouldn't be doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Lawyers calls an arm and a leg. You got the lawyer. The lawyer, your lawyer, then probably went to college with the judge or the judge's son, or it's a one big circus. And then the DA, used to be, the judge used to be a DA. The DA, it's just crazy. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's why I tell people it costs too much to be a criminal.
It does.
It costs way too much. You know what I mean? So it's a crazy game.
Did you? And also, I would imagine that in jail you would have to also be super slick and strategic of who you align yourself with.
One thing about jail is jail have some of the most smartest people I've ever seen in my life. Calculated, cavalier, cunning, unbelievable. But you see that in corporate America too, though. So I didn't operate in corporate America. I'm like, damn, this shit just like jail, you know?
Just with more money.
But the thing about it is, you don't have to worry about violence. It's all off of paperwork. It'd be paperwork, it'd be lawyer, you know what I mean? It'd be, it's real deep. It's real, you know what I mean? But it's a part of the game we love the most.
So then how did you navigate it? Like, what was your experience now getting it? Like, how did you navigate it? Were you like there are people who are like, not followers, but like they're like the leaders. Were you a leader in jail? Or?
No, like the way I operate in jail, I didn't deal with a lot of people. I deal with people, but I deal with them on my time. And when I'm saying on my time, whereas though was like, some people got people that they walk the yard with every day. They always with. But me, I was the type of guy I didn't have that. I had, and then the person I did walk with, most of the time, he wasn't on my block. He's like a brother of mine now, but he wasn't on my cell block. So sometimes we wouldn't be in the yard together, different things. So we see each other when we see each other. I didn't want nobody to be connected to me in that way, because in jail, you don't know what nobody into. You don't know who killed who on the streets. You don't know if somebody robbed somebody's cell. So it's best.
You guys talk about it amongst yourselves? Like, do you say, hey, what did you do that you're in here? Did you kill somebody?
No, people know. It's easy to find out. You go to the computer and the law library. Everybody know everybody's stuff.
And people can go on Google there? On Wi-Fi?
No. They got like the legal, and the library is a legal computer. But like case laws.
Oh, yeah, like how the old days, how
you can pull somebody's case up. Stuff like that.
Well, so you find out pretty quickly who's dangerous, I guess, so to speak, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you find out who's a pedophile, who's a rapist, and things happen sometimes.
And there is like a hierarchy, right? Because the pedophiles and rapists, aren't they like the people that want to that people want to kill them first?
Yeah, but see, in the hierarchy of the court system, they're like the lowest. They're not the highest. They're the lowest.
Right.
For some reason in America, the court system give pedophiles slaps on the hand. But if you sell some dope, you live in the ghetto, you pull up, you got a gun, you get 1,000 years, but you can touch a kid. So, it's real crazy.
Well, yeah.
It's crazy. I know you'd have been shocked. You see a pedophile. He only got what? How did he do that? He ruined somebody for their life. Because most of the time in them cases, they don't want, they get these guys plea deals and all that because they don't want the kid or whatever that had to get on the stand and relive that moment. Because in America, you got a right to face your accuser. So if you saying I done something, you got to get on the stand and say what I done. Now, they don't, so the DA got to make a deal with the pedophile because it's like, we don't want to put this child up here, have him talk about that, you know?
Yeah, again, right.
So
really.
now it go from me, and it's, what I did was totally wrong. Me robbing 2 places to him touching 2 kids and me getting 20 years and him getting maybe 3. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
so it's deep.
So it's a different. So it's a different justice system within the prison. So what I'm saying is, then people want to the prisoners want to kill those pedophiles pretty fast because nobody likes a pedophile, obviously, or a rapist. So then what? Who's like if someone's in there for murder, right? Are people scared of them more?
No, you might have somebody that's in there for dope dealing. It might only be there for 3 years. It ain't no joke. And jail was like, you don't know who is who. You don't know. You can't just say, oh, you got murder, you this, or you got this. No, it might be somebody in there that was in there for DUIs that might do something to you. It's not no, and I'm speaking from Pennsylvania aspect. Because, in Pennsylvania, it's not like it's gangs and all this crazy stuff, like especially not in Philly. Well, in Pittsburgh it is, but not in Philly. So, Philly is the largest population. People from Philly is the most in the population in prison in Pennsylvania. So
I can't. And so basically, did you had a group of you kept to yourself more or less?
Most of the time, I did a lot of reading.
Did anyone beat you up?
No, I never had them issues.
No one ever. You never had any issues.
In prison, what you got to understand is this: in prison, the respect level is to the sky. It's past the cloud, up there near God, because it's like I got to respect you. You gonna respect me because if something go wrong, everybody that you deal with and everybody I deal with going to go to war. It could turn into a war in here. And violence always bring problems, It makes the institution tighten up on the rules. It brings a lot of problems. Issues. But some problems you can't stop because somebody might have violated somebody's family member on the streets and killed. So, it got to get dealt with.
So is that normally how things kind of go down, though? Is that because usually there's a history before they even get in there?
No, it could be disrespect. It could be somebody might steal somebody out of somebody's cell. Somebody might owe somebody money. And it could get crazy. It could get real crazy quick.
Amazing. So then, okay, so let's fast forward. So then now you're 37. You get out of jail, right? Now what?
No, before I get out, in 2013, during my time in prison, I had this thing called the Book of Life, where I used to write stuff down. Because when people would come to prison, I had the cell, I would tell the guards, no, and my cell is like a transitional cell where people they're not staying alone. They might got to come here and go somewhere else, whatever. Because
what is it called? Transitional cell. Okay.
Like somewhere just keep coming. And a transit cell. And what I was to do is people come in there, and, some fresh off the streets or whatever. Maybe it was a parole violator. It was their first time. And I just used to interrogate them, ask them all these questions about real life in the real world. Because when you're in prison, you're stuck in a time that don't exist no more. That was the time when you came in. And you be on dinosaur time. A lot of people be trying to figure out why people come home and go back. They don't know nothing. Only thing they know is it's hard to understand life. You're stuck in a time capsule. And I was telling the guys the other day, radio, and I was like, I remember the first time I heard about Google. Guy was telling me, and I'm saying to myself, hold up. You're trying to play with my intelligence? That don't even make no sense. Because he told me, here, you go, Google. He said, the thing about Google is you use it on your phone, and you could type it in. He said, I could type your name up and stuff would come up. I said, why would stuff come up and I've been in jail all this time? What do you think, I'm crazy? So I couldn't even.
You were in jail when Google came out,
right?
Yeah,
so I couldn't fathom what he's talking about. So now I'm writing this stuff down. I said, this dude think I'm slow, but I'm going to write it down. So in the Book of Life is a book that I have where I write all this stuff down. I write a bunch of stuff down dealing with life and things people told me, or ideas or plans or quotes I have. The stuff about when I get out of jail, things I want to, places I want to go. Things I want to get, you know what I mean? People I want to meet. And I wrote that down in the Book of Life. So what happened in 2013, associate of mine in prison, he came in my cell one day. He was like, yo, come here, I got something for you. Check this out. He had an iPod Touch and a wireless hotspot. And that is where, that's when I came alive. He let me see that. He said, go ahead, you hold it overnight. So now I said, how do you get, he said, he showed me what Google was. So when I Googled it and all this stuff popped and I seen my stuff, it was like All right, put it like this. Just imagine you're walking down the street and you just see a spaceship flying by, like close, and you're like, oh shit. I was just so, it was so scary because it was like, oh man. Oh, you know, and so,
I can imagine, mind-boggling.
So now all the stuff I done wrote down from magazines, .coms and websites, you see what I'm saying, understanding stuff, I was like, oh shit, this is amazing. You know, I'm looking at dad, I'm looking at all type of stuff, porn, I'm going everywhere, right? No, I'm, you know.
No, I want you to be honest. How did you even get the iPhone Touch in there? Is he allowed to have that?
No, he ain't allowed to have it. He got in there illegally.
Oh, okay. Was he the only person?
No, he was one of the people. He was one of the people that had him. But what happened with me is, I'm going to show you something funny. I'm going to go to Google. So.
Yeah, go to Google so you can show it to me.
What happened with me is, I started selling. I got a Connect and started basically selling telecommunication in prison illegally.
Yeah.
How? You know, I got with somebody to get them in there, smuggle them in there for me, and I was off to the races.
So what you were selling? What were you selling? Well, okay, let me see this.
You go there. Why does this don't come down?
You say you're selling telecommunication. Does that mean you're selling?
See right here, this article to write $5,000. Here go the article. See that?
Gratitude inmate arrested.
Gratitude.
Oh wait. Gratitude inmate arrested for contraband. Oh my gosh. So you were a 34-year-old inmate, Wallace Peoples, and charged him with possession of contraband and weapons or implement of escape. People was in possession of 3 cell phones, 5 chargers, 5 headsets, an iPod, and a wireless hotspot. He was arraigned, and bail was set for $5,000.
Mm-hmm. I can't make bail because I was already in jail. You see what I'm saying? So I'm already in jail.
So you were in jail again.
Yeah.
You were in jail and they were going to...
I was in jail doing my time.
They arrested you again in jail.
Yeah.
So what happened to you then?
Nothing. They just arrest you, throw you in a hole. I spent like 6 months in the hole. Kick me out of that facility, send me to another facility.
Is that like when you're literally by yourself in a hole?
Yeah, you in a cell.
So that's true. When you see that on television,
23 hours in the cell, 1 hour out for the yard.
How
like
big
a dog
was the cell?
Smaller than where we at. Real small. And that was like, man.
How long were you in that for, you said?
6 months.
How did you not go crazy?
I read, when you just condition yourself for things like that, being in prison. So it's like, it's always like that,
So how did you get that stuff? Then you went on Google. How did you figure out? No,
I just started Googling things and anything I had to put I started Googling, and then I started watching like tutorials and stuff on YouTube. But that's where I started Wallo267 Instagram when I had the phone in 2013. So I started it and I started doing all type of stuff. I was spreading my message then in jail, but I would put like quotes and stuff up there. I would try to promote people in the community, like they had shows or clothing lines. I was doing all that from prison. If you go back, if you go all the way down my page, you'll see things from when I was in prison.
Hold up. So you actually had that page. You started Instagram.
I started my
while you were in jail.
I started my Instagram in prison. Yeah.
How did you keep the phone from not getting caught? Like, how did you hide the phone? Didn't they catch you? No. What
happened was I had it for a while, and then I had it for like 13 months, and then they caught me. They hid it in the ceiling and all that stuff. Might told on me, but that's part of life. But
you can plug in the phone, and
you can plug in your phone yourself. No, you in your cell. Hide it under the bed. But listen, this is the thing. The thing was that what I've learned on there is why I was able to come out here and just destroy shit. Because when I'm looking at, I learned so much. And one of my teachers, rest in peace. He was my teacher from afar, Anthony Bourdain. Right now, let me explain something to you about him. Parts unknown, no reservations, the layover. He was a legend to me. And when I sat in that cell and I used to watch him on the Travel Channel, CNN, whatever, he let me know, he's a guy that used to shoot dope, was a heroin addict, and he came back.
Yeah.
He encouraged me he was, and what was so crazy? I always say when I get out of jail, I'm going to meet that guy, and he died, and it was like, it was a painful day for me seeing that, because I'm like, I just had to meet him and really had a conversation with him, because I watched him so many years in my cell in prison.
Wow.
And he was a legend. Rest in peace to Anthony. Shout out to his family, and
You never got to meet him.
Never got to meet Anthony. And I met people that knew him. I was like, shit. So it was just crazy, man. So. But when I seen that, I said, okay, when I get home, I'm going to utilize this technology, because, me in jail studying things, understanding colors, understanding attention span, marketing colors, understanding. I said, okay. I realized that human beings in this day and time, they first listen with their eyes, then they listen with their ears. It's a visual connection. And it's a human connection. If you can make that human connection, game time. So I said, I'm going to utilize my message, and the backdrop to my message, the canvas is going to be the inner cities of America. And I'm going to say what I'm going to have to say, and I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. And it just, it took off from there. And at the same time, when I was talking about what I was talking about, I did like I was mimicking Anthony Bourdain and going to different, like I was doing like ads and stuff for promotional videos for like restaurants or clothing stores in my communities in Philly and the inner cities because nobody was doing it on the black side of things. So I said, I'm going to do that. Once I started doing that, I started taking off and people just started calling me, yo, how much you charge for an ad? I'm like, oh shit. A minute ad, $500. Okay. Well, how do you do the payment? Next thing you know, I'm getting $500, just to do an ad on Instagram.
Right. So you're monetizing your Instagram.
Oh yeah, I was monetizing my Instagram. Like I wasn't even out of jail for a year, but I came home February 18, 2017. And by August that year, my first speaking engagement, I got $2,000 for 15 minutes at a real estate event in Philadelphia. And then it was over from there. Then I started learning about, okay, what is the one sheet? Okay. What is the EPK? Okay. What is a rider? Okay. What a contract looking like? And I just started going, and I went from getting 500 to advertise on Instagram to getting thousands for that 1 minute. I just started studying the game and looking at my analytics, and I was like, this is demographic, and I knew how to talk to people and why it was important for them to get me because nobody could sell like me. You know what I mean? So it was like, I just started doing that. Next thing you know, people booking me for speaking engagements, spoke at colleges, Penn State, District of Columbia.
And what are you speaking on? What did you speak on? On how to basically
University of Maryland. No, I spoke. It depends on what you need me to speak about.
You are literally habits and you are hustle. You are the hustle
definitely
out of habits and hustle.
Yeah.
You literally hustled while you were in jail to a career you have now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is unbelievable. So people were like, while you were in jail. So by the way, how did you even initially get traction with your Instagram? What happened
was I was in jail and I used to just put stuff up.
What were you putting up initially?
I was putting up stuff about, like I used to do these collages, the big pictures.
Yeah.
So you'll stroll up. I was doing that. I was putting up quotes. I was putting up music stuff and I was, because I didn't do no videos because I didn't want my face to be shown. Like, and I just kept putting stuff up. So when I came home, I just went right at it.
Were you surprised? Like how long did it take you to start? Because you have like 500,000 or 600,000 people right now. So how long, where were you, when you got out of jail, it was, well, you've been out for 3 years, right? So like when you got out of jail, how many followers did you have back then?
I'm not sure. I didn't pay attention to it. I just went right in, started doing it. After I started doing my videos, motivational videos, whatever you call them, inspiring videos. I really don't like to use that motivational thing. It's like dated. And the thought of it puts you in a category of somebody with a baggy suit on is disconnected from what's going on. And I'm not that. So
you're definitely not that.
No disrespect to them because they make a shitload of money, but I'm just not that. And you know what I mean? But what happened was I started doing videos and people from athletes to rappers, they started reposting my videos. And
who? Like name some athletes and rappers that started to do that.
One of the first people that was big, my cousin, Gillie the Kid King, he was one of the first people. But then you had people like Meek Mills, Puff Daddy.
They were reposting your stuff.
They started reposting my stuff and it was just like, it was crazy. And then it's, it brought me a lot of people. And it was like E40. A lot of people just started posting that stuff, man. And once that happened, things changed. It's off to the races.
Wow. So then basically you're monetizing your page. You're doing a lot of speaking. Now you have a podcast, right? That does very well, right?
Yeah. We started a podcast, me and my cousin Gillie the King. It was $1 million worth of game. But 18 weeks straight on, we was number one 18 weeks straight on Apple Music. Number one episode of music, number one episode in every week, number one episode and number one show for 18 weeks, And
who were you having people on, or were you just having?
We was doing us. We had a couple. We had like 46 right now. You're with
Barstools now.
Yeah, we at
right?
Barstool now. We partnered with Barstool, and
when did you partner with them?
We partnered with them in like November. But what happened is we started the podcast in April. By November, they realized we wasn't playing. We wasn't playing out here. We was in negotiation with them, Spotify, all the big people. You know what I mean? Because we got real traction. A lot of people out here start podcasts, but it's hard for them to get traction because it's so oversaturated and everybody's talking about what? Ours is us, is raw, is uncut. We talking about life. We giving you game. Game is guidance, attention, motivation, education. We giving it to you in an unorthodox way. We're talking about music, sports, and that's how we come. And we already had a following. You got 1 million followers. I had a 500,000 when we started it. We waited. Because our audience kept saying, start a podcast. We didn't even know what a podcast was. So I said, okay, don't worry about it. I took like a couple days. I looked at tutorials. I read up on podcasts. I seen that one of the things that grabbed my attention, they said only 1% of podcasts do like 50,000 every time it come out, right? Mm-hmm. I said, okay, we're going to be a part of that 1%. Drop the first podcast. When we dropped the first podcast, we went all the way up to number 4 on the top 200 out of all podcasts on Apple. We went to number 4. I'm talking about in less than 24 hours. We went to number 4, and at that time we was in category comedy. We went to number 2 on comedy under Joe Rogan in less than 24 hours.
Way.
Yeah, less than 24 hours.
Wow.
Less than 24 hours. So it was like with us, it was like, oh, this is easy. This shit is easy because we got a real audience. We got an audience that subscribed to our messaging. They like what we doing, and it was like, okay, and they just loved it.
So then, Barstools came to you and said, hey, do you want to be on our network, basically? Like, who are you doing it with initially? Just yourselves?
We went up there, we met with Paul and them, we met with Jen. And
no. Initially, though, you and your cousin, Gillie
the King. Yeah.
Gillie the King. I feel so white that I don't know who that is.
No, it's okay. Everybody, listen, 7.6 billion people on the planet. You ain't gonna know everybody.
Thank you for saying that.
I'm cool with that. You know, we understand that.
Thank you. Okay, so then basically, you guys were just initially, in your first couple episodes, who was distributing? Were you guys just doing it yourself?
No, we went through Buzzsprout. We did it the independent way. We went through Buzzsprout. We found a guy, Dev. Dev had his own studio. We found him. It's okay, Dev. I mean, put him on the show with us. And he had a podcast studio. So we was like, okay, we're gonna use this. And we went through Buzzsprout because Buzzsprout is like a distributor. What's the name? They put your stuff on Spotify, put it on Apple.
Apple.
And it was a wrap.
Stitcher, yeah.
And we knew that, damn, this shit is easy. To us, it was like, oh, this shit easy.
And then, are you looking for something?
Yeah, I'm ready to find something for you.
Oh, you're going to find. So then basically Barstools came to you, Spotify, everyone came to you and said, hey, could we partner with you, basically? Yeah.
And it was like, shout out to Spotify and everybody for coming with us. But one thing I loved about Barstool was that Barstool was, how can I say it? Barstool understand the game on a whole different level. They understand content. They understand
beyond anybody else, for sure.
They legendary. So they understood that stuff, and it was like, oh man, these guys is animals. When I seen that, I was like, oh yeah, it's a wrap.
So then, how does it work? Then they basically distribute your podcast at all their channels. Okay,
look at this.
You're so funny.
I'm playing.
You are.
I'll back it.
Okay, so number 1, Joe Rogan. Number 2, $1 million worth of game.
Yeah, I'm talking about that was less than 24 hours when we came out.
And then Call Her Daddy, Barstool's number 4. Number 3, Someone a Super Stupid Genius. This is amazing. So how many
that was in April. That was our first podcast. That was in April.
Okay, so where are you now on the charts?
You're like, let me see.
Okay. How many downloads do you get an episode now?
I don't even know. I don't even be paying attention to it. We get so many. But look. This was all categories.
Wait, hold on a second.
That was less than 24 hours.
That's incredible.
And we talking about independent, no backing. We didn't have no machine. A lot of people was in these positions on these podcasts because they got machines and the machines placed them there.
Yeah,
they put money.
How are people doing it though?
Because
no one's helping me either.
They got a shitload of money and they got relationships.
But how are you able to? What machines though?
The machines is Apple. You know, you got these machines.
Oh, you mean they have
they got relationships. They paying money. Positioning. This shit is like the machine is like.
But you were doing. I mean, that's the thing. But listen, the podcast space is saturated, but yet there's still a lot of.
Man, I tell people, man, if you got a real following or organic following, it's a wrap. You could kill them out here. Like you really could kill them out here. You know.
So you have 500,000. Your partner has $1 million. You guys start the podcast. Barstool comes after you. You're with Barstool. Now you're crushing it. What's the deal? Like besides them, what do they do for you?
Barstool, what they do is.
Do they pay you? If they pay you anything, they sell your ads. I would imagine.
Yeah. They sell. What we did is we partnered up with them, and they came in. Man, they take care of that. They go find. They got relationships, and they understand content.
Yeah, better than anybody, like you just said.
Barstool is a bunch of people that's just like us. They just like us, and how can I say? They just like us, and they don't care about rules.
Yeah, no rules, exactly.
Yeah, and that's how I am. Fuck the rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, at the end of the day, that's how we doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like, it's a perfect
But
match.
they don't give you, you can do whatever you want. And
we can do whatever we want.
And they basically but what's the benefits besides them selling ads? I mean, not just bars, anybody. Besides a company selling just your ads, what's the other benefit of being with a big network like that? What do they do for you? And you can use Barstool as an example.
See, what Barstool is, they put you places you might never, you pop up in places you might never popped up at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like where did you pop? So ever since you were with them, where are you popping up that you would normally not pop up?
We're getting stronger in white America. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They probably would have never knew about us, but Barstool understand that.
Mm-hmm.
They understood, they want to diversify, had that diversity within they, so that was just like everything for us,
And so what other opportunity, like now it's been 3 years that you're out.
Mm-hmm.
So right now you're making most of your money through the podcast and speaking. Oh,
I ain't got to say nothing. So I'm not. That's what I'm saying. I don't be playing out here.
I understand.
So
now that I read it, I can't just sit here and not say something. What am I supposed to say? Can I just say? I'm not going to say that, but what I am going to say is he's making millions of dollars off of millions of dollar podcasts, et cetera, your entire thing. That's crazy. So you basically went from being in prison, having no money, having really no prospects, right? Then getting out of prison, being like strategic and being a hustler in prison, to then coming out and being like a multimillionaire through all these different ventures that you basically started while you were in jail. Yeah,
while you were in jail and just being out here and just not... See, like one thing about me, I really don't give a fuck. A lot of people care too much about, my whole thing is fuck what they think. I don't care about your opinion. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if I leave right now and you say, I don't like that guy. That's not my problem. That don't have nothing to do with me. That's your business.
I like you though.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I'm just talking about life.
Yeah.
I don't care. That's not my problem. The problem is everybody cares so much. That's why nobody could do the shit I do. They can't do what my cousin do. They can't do what Barstool do. Because you got a bunch of people that really don't give a fuck.
I know, but how do you teach that, right?
You can't teach that. That got to be in you. If it ain't in you, you can't operate.
Right.
Everybody out here cares about. When I get up, I don't care about if you like that I'm bald. I don't care if you liked what I got on. That's none of my business. That's your business. I'm gonna wear what I want to wear. I'm gonna do what I want to do, and I'm gonna say what I want to say. I ain't gonna disrespect you. I ain't gonna harm you. But I'm gonna do me. I'm in my own world. I'm minding my business.
Yeah.
Now, if you don't like it, cool. But if you show me 100 people, I'm gonna show you 99 and a half that cares what people think, and their life is operated off of people, opinions of them before they even have opinion of them. Mm-hmm. The average person, when they get up in the morning, they get up, they go to the mirror and put their stuff on, they say, oh yeah, this don't look right. It don't look right because it don't look right to you. It don't look right because of what you think people gonna say about what you got it on.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I should wear this. No, my thing is I don't even look in the mirror. That's the only time I'm in the mirror is when I'm shaving. I splash my face, brush my teeth, and I'm moving. I got somewhere to go. So, it's to a point where it's like, if you care, you're going to have a lot of problems out here. If you value people people opinion that's not paying your bills, they don't care about you, you in trouble. And
I know. So I agree. Listen, like you're preaching to the, to the choir here. I'm very much like you. And maybe it's, we have different lives, obviously, but people get very uncomfortable sometimes because I really don't care.
Yeah.
I'll say what I want. I'll do what I want. I really don't really care how some people love me, some people hate me, and that's all fine. And I find that like people, but then when I have a success, they're like, oh my God, well, how did you do? And I'm like, because I don't think about how I just go. And if you're on my train, you're on my train. But people always say, well, how is that person successful? Why are they doing this? Why are they doing that? And the reality is sometimes it's just part of your DNA, right? You really can't teach certain things to people. However, with that being said, what can you tell people? Like, how do you tell people to kind of get out of their own way by being too reliant on what other people think and being they're so nervous about how other people perceive them. It stops them from moving forward and being successful and being the best version of themselves.
See, you gotta understand. It's a couple things you gotta understand. Number one, you see the shirt I got on?
Yes. What does it say? It says, "I love me." That's a great shirt.
Number one, let me explain.
Thank you.
Number one is like this. You gotta
Are those real?
Oh, you should know that they real. You just seen what you seen. You see what I'm saying?
Wow. How much would be one of those things?
No, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I mean,
is it heavy? Can I feel it? This is unbelievable. That's heavy.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is this. You got to understand this. At the end of the day, it's like this. Number one, during this journey through life, we claim to be in love with people, places, and things. We fall in and out of love with people, places, and things. But the question is, did you ever fall in love with yourself? Did you ever make love to yourself, your mind, body, and soul? That's the question. No. The average person, they only know love from what they seen on TV or heard through music of how they supposed to love. But see, that when I love me it's my movement. It's about you loving you.
How do you teach that? What do you
teach that? Number one, rule number one in the beginning of loving you got to be comfortable with being by yourself. And you got to be comfortable with taking that journey with yourself in order to be introduced to loving yourself. See, and sometimes that takes personal time. And one thing about that is, if you're not comfortable with being by yourself, if you don't love being by yourself sometimes, and I'm not saying be antisocial, you're going to have a problem because you're always going to worry about what people think.
Yeah, I agree. So were you then always like this?
No.
So how did you, right? So then that means someone could pivot and maybe feel like they care too much, but something has to happen. So basically something has to happen.
I was in prison for a zillion years sitting in a cell.
Right. So
and I had that life-altering moment.
So someone has to have something happen to them or have an experience that allows them to break free of that barrier and then push past it. Yours was being in jail and probably have a lot of time to think and figure this out. So I guess the answer, the response here would be for people to spend more time with themselves.
Yeah.
And get comfortable with themselves.
Spend a lot of time with themselves, being
alone.
That's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? That's really what it's about, being alone and just not caring. Like, everything ain't gonna be perfect. When I do a video for Instagram, whatever, when I'm doing, I just do it. I become it, just drop it. I ain't doing it 3-4 times, I'm doing it once. I'm gonna say what I gotta say. If I mess up, that's a part of it. I don't need everybody.
Don't care.
Listen, let's think about this. It's 7.8 billion people on this planet. 7.8, 7.6, somewhere like that. So you say that's 200,000 about what? How many times is that time? 200,000 probably like.
What are you trying to figure out?
200,000 times what equals 7.6 billion?
Okay, yes.
That's about 30,000. Am I right?
Okay, what are you trying to figure out?
I'm gonna break it down once I get it. Once I get it, that's about what? Now he's gonna tell me, but listen, think about this. We focus on everybody liking us. And then you can focus on everybody liking us and think about the most popular people you ever knew of or heard of in your life. Was it 25,000? Listen, think about the most popular people you have ever known in your life and watch this. Think about the most popular people. What is it? 20,000. 20,000 times. So listen, think about this. Think about this. Out of every, you said it's 30,000?
20.
20,000. 20 what? 25,000. So you say this. All you need is one person out of every 20, 25, what'd you say?
25,000 people to like you. Is that what you're going to say?
No, you only need them. You only need one out of every 27,000.
I said you need one.
You know how easy that is? That's 207,000
That's a lot.
on the planet. That's a lot. But think about this. You can't convince one person out of 27,000 to be a part of your movement? Think about that.
No, I'm listening to you.
You know how easy that is? So my whole thing is like, you don't even need that. For instance, you're an artist. You put out a single. You're doing your thing. You're doing music now, right? Think about this. Do you know, you say you want to, they might put you on a 10-city tour, right? You got your song, you got your album coming out, you got a movement. Guess what? You could do a 10-city tour with 5,000 fans. You know why? 500 a pop in each place.
That's good.
That's a good start.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people say, oh, I want to all right, you got your podcast, right? I tell people, they be like, damn, I said, all you need, try to gather up 100 people that's going to listen to it. Because them 100 people going to tell somebody else. And as you're going to see it grow as long as you're consistent. Because it's going to keep growing. Make sure you're consistent with it. But that 100 people could turn into 100,000 if you really believe. You know?
Right. I think what someone said also, and I agree with, I believe this. I think if you're passionate about something, people feel your passion and it's infectious.
Yeah.
But it has to come from the authentic place. So I think when people try too hard to be something they're not, people feel it. It's uncomfortable because it's not real. Right? So no matter what you are or who you are, it's important to be authentic to yourself. Even if you're crazy, kooky, weird, unfiltered, like me, it is what it is.
You got to be you, and because you're going to be comfortable with it at night.
Exactly.
Be all right.
But I think also it comes across like people gravitate to things that are real, not to things that are like phony or fake, right? So where's your family? Like, where are your mom and dad? And
my dad, he was a street hustler. He disappeared when I was about 2 years old. They don't know what happened, if he got murdered or whatever. He never showed up. My mom, she's doing good. She's in Philadelphia. My grandmom. What
did she do? Did your mother work?
She's a nurse. My mom.
When you were in jail, how was that? Did she come visit you? How
everybody came and visit. It was, it's a sad situation. Grandmom. I got a grandma that's 85. She's a legend. I love her. Nieces and nephews. My brother got killed. Him right here. He got killed when I was in prison. Died in my grandma's arms. They shot him. He ran to the house. Fell in my grandma's arms and expired. You know what I mean? That's part of my drive and my motivation too. My brother, little Steve.
How old were you when he got killed?
I was in prison. He was 39 though.
And how did who?
Somebody shot him. He ran to the house, and when my grandma opened the door, he fell in arms and he died.
I saw you did a talk on this.
Yeah,
right?
TED Talk. Yeah,
the TED Talk on
you
forgave your brother's killer.
Yeah, because it was not.
Do you know him?
No, it's not like I met him or none of that. But it was the forgiveness that was necessary because it was something I would have had to carry on. I'd have had to carry that shit, and that shit would have been heavy. And I wouldn't have been able to operate because I got this anger in me. So I think that was the most powerful thing I did. Everybody want to be forgave or something, but they're not willing to forgive. And that's important to me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I do understand that. So what do you like, besides, of course, I know what you're doing, podcast and the Instagram, what do you do daily? Now we know you're a hustler and you hustle like nobody's business. What are your habits?
Every day I wake up.
What time do you wake up in the morning?
Like 4 or something. I wake up.
Still?
I think,
because of prison?
Yeah, I wake up, I think, you know what I mean? I look at stuff on, I love YouTube. I love tutorials. I just love documentaries and stuff. You know what I'm saying?
What's your favorite documentary?
Probably The Great Hack.
Great Hack. Which one is that?
Look up that.
I will.
It breaks the game down. It breaks down, how Trump was paying $1 million a day for Facebook and all that. Yeah, it's on Netflix. Okay. It's a legend. It's legendary. It's how they track you and all that. Cambridge Analytica. Check out The Great Hack.
I will.
And recently, I had a hard time. Me and my fiance, we was going through the IVF process.
Oh.
First time around, got from the eggs and sperm, 12 babies. We got 12 eggs. She went through it. The baby, as she was pregnant, she got pregnant the first time. The baby heart stopped beating. You know what I mean? So we just went through a miscarriage weeks ago, and but we strong.
Sorry.
We might do it again. We just thinking, it's hard. That's hard, So that was a whole journey for me. Understanding IVF and learning about that is deep. But we get back up. We gonna be. Tomorrow's gonna be better than yesterday. So But other than that, man, I'm just like living. Living every day.
Right.
Going hard.
There's no one habit, like there's no one thing you do every day.
Every day I listen to music.
Who's your favorite?
I gotta say, one of my favorite songs right now is Sampa. I don't know if you ever heard of Sampa. He got a song called Plastic. He's outstanding. He's from overseas. But I listen to all type of music. Like, I might be listening to I could listen to System of a Down, Guns N' Roses. I gotta listen to anything.
Anything.
Jay-Z, Meek Mills, anything. You know what I mean? That's just me. If I feel a song, I'm in.
Do you bring guests on your show ever, or is it just you and your
sometimes
cousin?
we bring guests on it, but most of the time we don't. Because we want our show to live off us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want it to be so guessed out to where as though it's like, some other stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So it's all about you guys and your dynamic with each other.
Yes.
And then do you guys plan it? Like, okay, how often do you do this podcast? How many episodes do you let out?
We do once a week. We release 4 a month. Sometimes maybe 5 as a bonus.
Okay. And then do you guys plan like, okay, tomorrow we're going to talk about music, or is it just like conversation?
No, it just happened. It just happened.
Goes.
We bounce off each other. It just happened. We might say something about current event. We might not talk about no current event. And it's like just talking about us. You know what I mean? Talking about our journey through life, talking about sports, entertainment, all that type of stuff.
I'm going to check it out.
You check $1 million worth of game out.
I did. I've checked out.
It's crazy.
Super
crazy.
I saw a few minutes here and a few minutes there,
Yeah.
but I didn't really listen to the entire episode. But I'm going to now that I have had you on.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
No, you're welcome. And I love your shirt. Where do I get one like that?
I already had a merch on my website soon. Wallo267.com is going to be coming soon, so keep your eyes out for that.
Oh.
Exclusive merch drop. 75 pieces, only going to be out from hats, shirts, mug, all type of stuff, but it's coming.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. That's a great shirt. Thank you so much. And where do people find you, you said?
You can find me on Instagram at WALLO267. You can find me on YouTube, WALLO267. I got a show on YouTube called Where's Wallo, where I interview all type of artists. Everybody from Deion Sanders, Meek Mills, T.I., everybody. I interviewed them on there.
Wait, hold on. Now you're telling me you have a YouTube show and you have your podcast.
Yeah.
I forgot about the YouTube show.
No, I didn't forget. Yeah, but I was, just whatever you asked me. But yeah, Where's Wallo is on YouTube. You know what I mean? My where I'll be all over interviewing all type of people.
I thought it was just on the. Okay, well, I'm gonna go.
No, that's my personal brand. $1 million worth of game is me and my cousin together. I still got my own personal.
Where's Wallo? Okay,
Yeah.
so who's the big now? Sorry, we're gonna go right back. Who's the biggest person that you've interviewed? Do you have you had Jay-Z on?
No, but I had.
I like Jay-Z.
I had Deion Sanders, T.I.
T.I. has a very popular podcast.
Yeah,
now.
he got one. You know what I mean? People like that. I just did T.I. podcast too. But like, big people, Meek Mill, but people like that,
Okay,
So,
I'm going to check that out too.
Thank you.
No, you're welcome.
Definitely check it out.
Also, we're at the Super Bowl. Who are you rooting for?
Whoever win. That's my team. After the game, we'll bet. My team won.
Sounds good to me.
I'm
right?
an Eagles guy though, for real.
Yeah, exactly.
Philly. Yeah.
I hear that. Oh my gosh. One thing we have to talk about. I didn't even bring it up. There's a Kobe thing. That must have been.
Yeah, Kobe from Philly. It was sad. It was not just about Kobe, his daughter. Father lost his life. Multiple fathers.
9 people.
Yeah, it was just
terrible.
crazy. It's crazy. Kobe's an icon, man, and I think it made people appreciate life more and look at their family and say, I want to love up on my family more. Because I'm one of the people who have, live every day like it's your last day on earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I live anyway. Because you never know how you might go out,
You never know. I mean, it's just such a terrible tragedy. And I think it represented so much to people beyond just if you're a basketball fan or not, right? It's just basically like I think he was a superstar across the board, and he also just represented work ethic and discipline and determination. And I think no matter where you are in life, everyone wants to be better, I guess, even if they don't. Maybe it's more subconscious, and I think he represented that. So I think it really affects people. I don't know, affected me much more than I thought it would.
Yeah.
All right, so everyone check out Wallo on his podcast, his YouTube.
Wallo267.
Wallo267, sorry.
It's okay.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Habits and hustle, time to get it rolling. Stay up on the grind, don't stop, keep it going. Habits and hustle, from nothing into something. All out, hosted by Jennifer Cohen. Visionaries, tune in, you can get to know them. Be inspired, this is your moment. Excuses, we ain't having that. The Habits and Hustle podcast, powered by Habit Nest.